The story opens with the history of spirit contracts. Long ago, a hero named Aran forged the first bond with a spirit, a pact so powerful it reshaped the continent itself. Even now, these contracts remain vital for adventurers, granting them strength and abilities far beyond ordinary means. In the present, Kyle fights with determination, convinced that once he unleashes his power, no monster will stand in his way. He reassures his companion, declaring his intent to carve out a name for himself as a top-tier adventurer. His confidence pushes him forward as he calls upon the flame spirit, Agni. With flames enveloping his blade, Kyle strikes furiously, each blow fueled by his ambition. The monster thrashes, but his relentless assault continues until the creature finally collapses. Kyle and his partner celebrate their success, relieved and exhilarated by the victory. But the triumph doesn't last. The fallen monster suddenly convulses, its body twisting unnaturally as black flames erupt from within. Kyle's confidence shatters, replaced by disbelief as he watches the scene unfold. His partner cries out in alarm. The black flames overwhelm the monster, leaving Kyle's allies alarmed. They realize the spirit is being assimilated and call for retreat. Kyle stares at his hands, confused by what's happening. Later, the guildmaster tells him he must leave the guild. Kyle pleads, but the master explains his party reported that his spirit had turned into a dangerous black flame. For adventurers, that could not be allowed. Despite Kyle's protests, the decision is final. Outside, whispers from other adventurers reach him, questioning the rumors. Frustrated, Kyle reflects that with a stronger spirit, this wouldn't have happened. Kyle remembers how his companions once fought and laughed with him, but now only treat him with contempt. Overwhelmed, he runs through the streets and into the forest, determined to continue as an adventurer alone. Deep inside, a monster attacks, and Kyle is forced to fight. In the middle of the battle, he notices an unconscious girl nearby and quickly calls to Ariel as he rushes to protect her. Kyle is knocked back as the monster's roar shakes the battlefield. The girl tries to move but is too weak. Kyle thinks about how impossible it is to face such a powerful beast without a proper spirit contract, yet she still encourages him faintly. He refuses to leave her behind. Rushing over, he asks if she can move, but she admits she can't. Frustrated, he keeps fighting, though he knows it's only a matter of time before he collapses. His body grows weaker, and his vision starts to fade. Just as he wonders if the girl managed to get away, she suddenly speaks with urgency. To his shock, she reveals she is a spirit. Desperate, she begs for his meat. Oops, wrong context. I meant she begs him to form a contract with her, extending her hand toward him. The girl reveals she is Aya, the last dragon spirit, and urges Kyle to form a contract. He accepts, and as their bond is sealed, a surge of power overwhelms him. Light erupts, stunning the monster, and Kyle steps forward with renewed strength to face it. The monster is struck by a massive surge of power as the contract takes hold. Energy spirals outward, wrapping around Kyle and Ia, sealing their bond. Kyle is engulfed by the spirit's force, and the overwhelming power knocks him unconscious. Ia leans over him, shouting for him to wake up until he finally opens his eyes. She tells him he survived thanks to their contract. Kyle, still dazed, slowly understands what happened. As they sit together, she explains that their bond is real. He acknowledges it, though surprised. She introduces herself as a great spirit, smiling as she reminds him of who she is. Looking around, Kyle realizes he is inside a dome and reflects that he never thought he would set foot there again. Aya introduces herself to Kyle as a Drancy, the last dragon spirit, and declares that she is his partner. Kyle, still reeling from everything, struggles to take in her words. Within the dome, she explains the nature of dragon spirits and their history. She tells him they once contracted with humans, granting their immense power to fight against threats. She mentions that Kyle's former spirit was labeled a black flame, but with her, he now holds something different. Kyle admits his doubts, saying he doesn't feel capable of controlling her power. Aya firmly counters, telling him that he can. She explains that she chose him for a reason, and that he is the one she needed. She continues, describing how dragon spirits have always stood against destruction and chaos, and now that same duty falls to him through their contract. Kyle realizes the danger of his new role, but she reassures him with confidence that he is strong enough. When Kyle expresses his fears again, Aya reminds him of her nature as a dragon spirit, untouched by flames and impossible to burn. She reinforces that he is her chosen contractor and that together they will face what lies ahead. Kyle expresses his thanks to Aya but asks if she is truly certain about choosing him. She reassures him with confidence, telling him that he is enough. Together, they declare their names, and the mark of their contract shines brightly as proof of their bond. Later, Kyle suddenly wakes in his bed, realizing he is back in the village. His uncle and others greet him, saying they were worried while he was unconscious and are relieved to see him awake. The door bursts open as Aya rushes in, calling Kyle's name with excitement. She clings to him happily. Kyle stares in shock, thinking about her horns and tail, remarking that although she clearly isn't human, she looks very much like a girl in disguise. His uncle and grandma makes mocking remarks about his new underage-looking girlfriend, and grin which makes Kyle react with embarrassment to their comments, while Aya remains cheerful and confident, staying close to him without concern. Aya tells Kyle that he needs to recover quickly, and he resolves that he must grow stronger to protect her as well. That night, Kyle reflects on the path ahead and decides he will continue forward as an adventurer. Aya reminds him that she chose him, and together they share their determination. The two leave the village, and Kyle grips his weapon tightly, calling out to Aya as they move forward. She responds with confidence, and their resolve is united. Soon, they face a powerful enemy. Kyle launches his attack, but the monster dodges with surprising speed, leaving him shocked as the battle begins. Kyle is knocked back and admits to himself that his body feels too heavy to fight properly. He realizes his sword alone can't do enough damage, and the monster's regeneration makes the situation worse. He steadies his breathing and tells himself to calm down. Drawing on the power of a dragon, he prepares to continue. Aya reassures him, reminding him to trust their bond. Kyle presses forward with another strike, but the monster recovers quickly. He realizes he cannot win with his sword alone. Aya tells him to rely on her power, and he accepts, asking her for support. The monster regenerates again, stronger than before, but Kyle doesn't falter. Aya promises to handle it together with him. Black flames rise, and when she asks if he intends to use them, Kyle confirms with determination, thanking her as he prepares to continue the battle. Kyle lands a powerful blow, bringing the monster down with a final roar. Catching his breath, he realizes he managed to defeat it. Aya hurries over, celebrating his success, while Kyle admits it wouldn't have been possible without her and thanks her for the support. She responds warmly, reminding him that he was the one who fought while she only lent her strength. Kyle takes in her words, and she adds that she is truly glad they met. Their relief doesn't last long. The monster's remains begin to bubble and shift unnaturally, releasing dark energy. Both Kyle and Aya react with shock, while Kyle steadies himself and remarks on the trouble still left behind.